All right, everyone, and we are back with the day two commentary for CS 2014. Not much to say because I already told you what these were in the last one, so let's go ahead and get into this. Gonna push play, and here we go. And now it's just me doing my normal opening video. Sorry about the low angle on this. As I said, my camera, the viewfinder's broken, and I didn't realize how high up I had the camera tilted until I watched it. You can slowly see me tilt it back down because I kind of had a feeling I had it too high. It was just really hard to tell. You can actually see the group of ktdata.net in the background setting up the camera equipment where the tripod is. Okay, this item, I'm going to pause it there. This is actually a projector. The TV that you just saw was the image being displayed by the projector. It has a little lens right there in the front that projects up onto that TV. I actually tried to film where the girl stuck her hand in front of it, and then you could actually see her hand in the TV, so you could tell it was actually the projector. But someone stepped right in my way as I was filming that, so I really didn't get it. So that was actually kind of the most interesting of the TVs that we saw this year. And I believe after this we just get directly into the TVs. So yeah, this was all in one booth, but it basically displayed every TV that we saw this year. So I just filmed everything in this one booth to kind of demonstrate it. Sure what the difference in OLED and regular LED is. I didn't really look into it that much. You can see it does have a very nice clean image, even on my standard definition camera. These are the touch TVs. As you can see, someone drew something on it, and you can animate it and all that. Share. This, I think, was the thing. Yeah, you can kind of see it there, where you can send it from whatever device to your TV and back, so you can kind of watch it on different devices in different rooms. Okay, now this is showing off the sync view, which is something we saw like one model of last year, and this year a lot of people had it. The reason the image on the screen looks so funny is because it's actually two images overlaid on top of each other. And it basically uses 3D style glasses, but whereas each of your eyes would show you a different polarized version of the same image to give you the 3D effect, what they do in this one is basically take the concept of the 2D glasses where it's only one set of polarized. And if it's like the left side polarized in both lenses, you would see the left side image. And if it's the right side polarized in both lenses, then you would see the right side image, which you'll see here in a second as I move down to the display panel that they have there. And as you can see, there's the left side image, which is a monkey crawling over rocks, and there is the right side image, which is Avatar. And there you can see me moving back and forth. This is all still the same movie on the same screen. It just has two images overlaid on top of each other, and depending on which of the glasses you have on is what you're going to be seeing. So you can watch the football game while your wife watches her soap operas, and neither of you has to be bothered with what the other is watching, unless you take off the glasses and then you see the overlay. So that's actually a pretty cool thing. We did see one or two displays of it last year, and we saw a lot of them this year. So again, it's copycat year. Another big thing was the video chats on TV now. A lot of these were coming out. And these are just some LED signage things that they had out. These are ad TVs, which is basically a large TV that you use as a billboard. Kind of an expensive billboard, if you ask me, but it's a digital display that can be updated however you want it, as opposed to having to change your sign or have like multiple signs, I guess. This one actually changes as I was filming it, I believe. Yeah, right there. So it's basically kind of like the digital billboards they got now. Again, here's the curved screens as I was talking about last time. It looks kind of flat until you get to the side of it. And as you can see, it just barely has a curve to it. So like I said, I think it's just curved enough to where if it was a glasses-free 3D style television, you could get the effect sitting at this angle as opposed to sitting directly in front of it. And again, glasses-free 3D televisions. This one, you can pick up a little bit more of the 3D image. When you're standing in front of it, it does actually look like the image is coming right out of the screen. Whereas on this standard definition camera, as you'll see when gets over to the Heineken ad, it just kind of gives you a bit more of the depth of field perspective of it. See there, it actually looked like the star was coming out of the screen, but for you it just kind of looks like it rises in front of everything and then falls back in. That splash actually looked like it was kind of coming out at you a little bit, where here just you have the depth between the logo and the splash. The beer bottle is obviously spraying out at you. So it's an interesting concept, but you almost have to be directly in front of it. This was another TV company. This was just their display house, and it looked kind of cool. Looked like a giant Rubik's Cube, so I filmed it. This was some new airline innovation stuff through American Airlines, which was kind of cool. This is the skeletal frame of one of their new seats. I don't think the seats are going to be metal like this. It's just showing you the framework that's inside of it. So this is one of their new cabin-style seats that they're putting together for like international flights when you're going to be on the plane for a long time. Each person would kind of get their own little booth like this. So you'd have the chair, you would have your own little cubby hole. There's a TV there. And then the interesting thing about this is the seat actually reclines out into the foot space of the one in front of you, as you can see here with this guy, and actually allows you to sit back and relax, take a nap. You have your own little private cubicle and plenty of space for your feet. So that was kind of innovative from American Airlines for their new long-distance flights. Again, we're back to cars. This was the Tesla electric car, I believe. Okay, I'm going to pause this here, because this is actually a new software that they've developed for photographers, where you can take a series of photos of a person. Like, for example, she's standing perfectly still, but they have a fan blowing on her, so her hair is kind of flickering and the feathers on her boa are flickering. And then they put it into this program. Well, one cool thing about the program is you can actually live edit. So, like, if you want to adjust filters and go like black and white or whatever, you can do it all on the camera and see how it's going to look before you take the pictures, instead of like getting it in post and being like, oh, I could have done a retake of that, or oh, I might need to color correct this or something. You can do all that on the camera before you actually start snapping the pictures and get how it's going to look before you shoot. It saves people a lot of time and effort with editing. But another feature of this program is, as I said, you can have the subject stand perfectly still and have like a fan blowing on them so their hair is kind of flowing and the feathers on the boa are ruffling. And then you take all those pictures and put them in this program, and you can select like just the boa and just the hair, as you'll see here as I click forward. Oops. And she stays perfectly still, but you can see the feathers moving, and they call this a live photo, or a living photo. So it's basically a still image, but it seems alive. So if you have that on a billboard, it looks a little bit more interesting, but you would have to have a digital display to do that. Now this, I filmed kind of as a joke because it's showing older technology, and this is supposed to be the innovative new technology show. But what this actually was is showing you like all the stuff that's made that you can make out of recycled old computer parts. This one, all this stuff was 100% recyclable. It didn't have any unrecyclable parts. They melt it down into those little beads there, and then they can craft it into new plastics. Again, this one was 100%. There was another thing next to it that was only 70% recyclable, but I didn't film that. Again, these were just older technology that I thought was kind of cool. This is Nick Cannon. He was like 10 feet away from us in the Samsung Lounge. This is a company we saw last year. They had a couple models of this, but they've actually gone a lot further with it. For those people that still use desktop PCs, these are more customizable PCs. You can get them in different colors, different images on them, so it kind of fits you. You can get matching images on the keyboard, the monitor, the mouse, the little tower piece, the little remote control charger stand there. You can get that skinned. And then I just kind of pan around. You can get it just on the front, just on the back. See, this one doesn't have it on the front, but it has it on the back. And I just kind of panned around these and got some... Okay, now this one was actually the most innovative one that I saw. And this is... The back of it has these little pockets, which are designed to hold different items from your desk to eliminate desk clutter. The only downfall is that when you need like your tape or a pen or scissors or something, you need to reach over your monitor to get it. But at the same time, it keeps all the clutter off your desk and keeps it all in one place. So I thought that was pretty interesting, kind of revolutionary, sort of. This one had some weird like bottle caps or something on it, so I'm not sure what that was about. Mostly just a textured design. There you can see the little charger stand is skinned. The ones we saw last year were just solid colors. Now they're getting in more artistic, abstract coloring and things. And here we are. Basically, it's the same company, but they also make robots, like the Roombas and stuff. This isn't Roomba. It's, I can't think of the name again. Again, I'll display it on the screen if I can remember it. But this was a little demo they had to show the suction power of this. Basically, there were ping pong balls or golf balls or something. I think they're ping pong balls. But the tube could hold up to 21 ping pong balls, and it's showing the suction power. And right about here, he gets up to, I think, 17, and it starts to lose suction. And he's trying to figure out why, what happened. And then she lets him know that he has it on the lowest setting, and she just turned it up to the highest setting. But even at the lowest setting, it can hold 17 balls before it starts to lose just a little bit of suction, and then at the full setting, it can hold a full 21 balls. So that was kind of an interesting demo. So there you can see me zoom on the number 21, but I was at the wrong side to film it. And that was just an interesting little demo, so yeah, that was that. Then he turns it off, lets them all fall out, but she turned it back on to kind of hold a few of them. And this was another item by the same company. What this is a baby monitor. You put it in your baby's room, and as you can see, the wristband there, you actually wear that around the house, and if your baby starts crying, the monitor picks it up and will actually start vibrating on your wrist so you know that the baby's awake. And then you can look at it, and it displays a different color. Like if the baby's crying, it'll be red. If the baby's just awake, it'll be like a greenish blue color. But it also syncs up to your smartphone. So if the baby just woke up and you want to get it back to sleep, you can just take out your cell phone and start playing music through the monitor so that the baby will go back to sleep and you don't have to stop what you're doing to actually go check on the child, which, as interesting as it is, it seems like lazy parenting to me, and let's disconnect even more from humanity and socialization by not acknowledging our children. Just, oh, they're crying, that thing in the bedroom is crying, hit the button so it plays music and stops whining. But it actually has a full readout of like why the baby was crying, like if it was just awake, if it was actually crying, what time it was crying, so you can see if there's a pattern in like its wake up time every night. It tells the temperature in the room, so you know if the baby might have woke up because it was too hot or too cold. One thing she does say as she was demoing this is music, what you can do if your baby's like soothed by the comfort of your voice, but maybe not as responsive to, say, the babysitter's voice. You can actually record your voice talking to the baby and then leave the phone at home, so if the baby wakes up and the babysitter's not able to get it back to sleep, it can just start playing your voice, that the baby can hear your voice talking to it. It thinks mommy and daddy are there, and it is more comfortable and goes back to sleep, which is actually kind of cool for people that go out a lot and have babysitters often. But other than that, like I said, as innovative as it is, it seems like it's getting more and more towards I can't be bothered by the fact that I have a child type of thing. But that's just my view on it. All right, so moving on. Okay, and here you're seeing some of the, I think these were Canon cameras. They have a whole display where you can kind of get up in this little booth and kind of use the zooms and stuff and film over the whole floor and kind of see how they record, how they take still frames. This is over in the Sony booth. Some girls were dancing. Funny thing about this is actually right after I was stopped recording, but I hadn't put the camera down yet, the Asian girl that was just there, she turned, saw me with the camera, and actually came over and started dancing directly in front of me and kind of serving me, I guess. But unfortunately, I'd stopped recording, and by the time I hit record, she had moved back over, and they had finished their dance cycle, so they were going on their break or whatever. So I wish I would have got that, but I missed it, so sorry. This is one of the other things you see a lot of at CES is different mascots running around the floor. I think this is, what did he say his name was? Mac, I think? Something like that. So you could get your picture taken with him, but I just walked up and filmed him for a second. The guy there in the side of the shot, he offered to take your photo with your own camera if you wanted to stand in the shot. I just wanted to film it. I didn't really need to be in it. This was some device they had to help you improve your tennis game. This is actually the girl's second attempt at playing. She came in, and I think she only hit one ball the first time. And as you can see here, now that they've done whatever this technology does, she's hitting pretty much every ball. I don't think she misses one at this point. That one bounced back at her. Yeah, so I didn't really catch all of what this technology does or how it works, but it helped you with your tennis game. Again, here's another mascot that you see. This was another big thing this year is 3D imaging systems. This guy's standing in this spot, and it takes a complete 360-degree image of himself, and then it creates a 3D rendering inside a video game, and then you can control yourself in the video game. And that's from XX-Ray. These are, I believe, the Nikon cameras. Each of the camera things has some little display like this. If you saw the Mad Scientist one last year, that's basically what it came from, is they get these little displays where you can use their cameras to see how the photo looks, how the video looks, and so on. So I just watched these girls dance for a minute, and then they waved. And again, with the mascots, here was a girl dressed as Sailor Moon. Apparently Sailor Moon's making a comeback this year. And this next item I filmed because it said new, but again, it's old technology. It's another line of turntables, which I guess vinyl's making another comeback again for the 20th time in the last 3 decades. There was another one next to this that I wish I'd filmed instead because it was actually a wood grain, which actually takes me back to when I was a kid, because in the late 70s, early 80s, actually early to mid 80s, everything had a wood grain. That was kind of the thing. If you look at like the Atari 2600, it had a wood grain. So yeah, that I kind of wish I would have got that one instead, but anyway, you get the point. Moving on. This was another speaker system that had a built-in light to it that flickered with the music. As you can see, all the little strobe lights that are on the floor and stuff back there. This was a little seat cushion footrest thing that has speakers built into it. Here, just like last year with the different colored computers, now we have different colored amplifiers for different people's style. You can see like the pinks and greens, and here's some silver ones. And again, here's an amplifier that has the same disco light in the top of it. This one's not strobing quite as fast as the other one. And these were all by a company called Ion, I believe. It'll pan up to it in a second. Yeah, Ion. And then this was back in the DTS booth. This was a guy that was doing some human beatboxing, but I only caught a second of his show. Apparently, at a later point, they had a DJ and some dancing girls in that same booth. Again, here's just another car. This one actually had GoPro cameras mounted to it. I'm not sure really what they were demoing with that, but I thought the car itself was cool. Okay, I'm going to pause here and talk about this one because, unfortunately, we weren't able to get much footage of this. Me and KT were kind of just wandering around. We got ahead of everyone else because they were stopping to take car photos, and we were like, well, let's go on ahead, see if there's anything interesting, and we'll catch up with them when they're done. Because it was getting close to the end of the day, and we still had half the hall to get through, so we did a quick run through. And this was one of the final places we stopped, and we saw this, and the lady sat there and demoed it for us and talked to us about it, but we weren't filming at the time. And then we went over and checked out the other things, and this was the most interesting thing we saw in the last half of the hallway. So we said, well, let's go back over and get an interview with her and get a demo and some B-roll of that. So we came back over, asked her if she'd mind doing an interview. She was nice enough to say yes. And unfortunately, she'd been doing this for both days of CES now. So she did it for all of day one, all of day two. She had people come up and talk to her. She demoed it. Hadn't had a single problem with it. As soon as we went to film it, all of a sudden the tablet stopped working. She got the tablet working. The TV stopped working. So basically we just kind of had to keep stopping the interview process and doing another take. And we ended up finishing the interview, but it was really weird because, like all of a sudden when she's about to be on camera, everything breaks. But like it was some glitch, I think, because people were cutting behind the desk, between the desk and the TV as we were filming, because rather than walk around us like normal people would. And I think as they were walking through there, because it's on a raised floor and the wires run underneath the floor, I think as they were stomping through there, something got jarred loose, and that's what caused the issue. But that aside, what this actually is a innovative, again, kind of a lazy parenting thing, where normally in my generation, the parents would plop the kid down in front of the TV and let the TV be the babysitter. This is kind of extending that, but in an innovative way. As you can see, you get the kid like little letter blocks, and they build stuff out of it, knock it down, rebuild something else. They can learn to spell words out of it. But what you do is these actually have the QR codes around the border, and your tablet camera through an app can recognize the QR codes, and on the little screen there, you notice they don't show the QR codes, and that's because those are augmented reality, so each of the letters has a little character in it. Like the O has a little face on it, so it'll actually start talking to you. Each of the letters do. Each one has a different personality, so they'll interact with the child. Also hooked into this is this connects to your TV as well, and on your TV appears the Sesame Street character of Grover. So as you start playing, Grover's like, oh, I'm not sure what you're doing, but it looks interesting, or it looks fun, or something like that. And as you do, he goes, oh, I see, you're building a wall. He goes, I wonder how tall you can build the wall. Let's see how high we can go. So he encourages you to like stack the blocks higher. And then he goes, wow, that's a really tall wall. I wonder if you could make one just as long. So then you like knock it down and then you build it lengthwise. He goes, let's build the Great Wall of China. And, you know, basically he kind of encourages you to keep playing. And if you happen to accidentally spell a word like spelled mom, and he goes, oh, wait, I see something special in your blocks. And then it highlights the word mom. And then it would cut to a pre-recorded video that explains what a mom is, what a mom does, why a mom is special. Grover actually can leave the TV at certain points, and his head will pop up in the corner of the tablet, and he'll look at something and kind of interact with the block characters and say something else to you. Like he's like, oh, let me get a closer look at that, and then he'll come down to the tablet and kind of look at what you're doing. So it's actually a pretty cool thing. Unfortunately, as I was trying to get the B-roll, KT was doing the interview, and all the technology came unplugged. So unfortunately, we didn't get much of that. But this is called Grover's Block Party. So if it sounds like something you'd be interested in, it's definitely worth checking out. Again, it's just kind of another babysit the kid for me thing, so I can go make dinner. So again, kind of the lazy parenting thing, but still an interesting idea. And here I am just doing the end video for day 2. This was kind of a hard shot to get because everyone kept walking in front of me, behind me, and they saw us filming. They just didn't give a crap. They just like, oh, I'm just going to walk through here anyway. So, yeah. Anyway, that's day 2. And we fade out to the title screen. And then we fade out to black. And so that's it for day 2. We'll be back with day 3, day 4, and the day 4 extras. Hopefully I can get the rest of those filmed today and get these edited and up before another week goes by. But anyway, that's it for this episode. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.